Hey guys, how we doing? This is going to be part two of Divine Architecture and the Starseed Template, Matrix Memory Triggers for Ascension by Magenta Pixie. All right. We draw your attention to the space that blends upper third harmonic with lower fourth harmonic. For this overlap with the dimensional fields is what we wish to communicate with you about at this time. This overlap, that which we call the merge point, is growing larger, if you will. Again, this is a metaphor for ease of explanation, as nothing is actually growing in the physical sense of the world. In truth, what is actually happening is that more and more individuals upon your planet are beginning to expand their thinking. These individuals are predominantly thinking from or operating their consciousness within the lower third dimensional harmonic, or the lower fourth dimensional, the upper third dimensional harmonic / lower fourth dimensional harmonic merge point. This is a state of transition of consciousness for these individuals. This transition is not a linear process. At times, the individual may operate from a lower harmonic. Once a higher harmonic has been accessed, that access is usually, not always, depending on the situation, assessed again more and more frequently until the next level of harmonic is reached. Again, we draw your attention to the fact that this process is nonlinear, and we are presenting a simplified model of reality for ease of explanation. There are many individuals upon your planet currently who are thinking from or operating their consciousness within the three harmonic fields of the fourth dimension. So too are there many who operate from the upper fourth dimensional harmonic / lower fifth dimensional harmonic merge point, and so on throughout the fifth dimensional fields. On a collective level, the fourth / fifth dimensional merge point is accessed by many. The upper fifth dimensional harmonic / lower sixth dimensional merge point is a very new access point for humanity. This Stargate became accessible on a collective level in your year of 2013. Although at this point, the level of awareness within this consciousness was not sustainable for long. This level was not processed or understood, but rather drawn upon as a fluid stream of energy. Yet in the year 2016, around your month of October, this level began to be preceded more and more by many of you known as starseeds. This dimensional level is now sustainable for longer and longer periods of time, expressed in linear terms. Now in the year of 2017, this fifth / sixth dimensional merge point is beginning to be processed and understood. We speak here regarding this collective awakening, that of the ascension process that is taking place on a global scale. Individually, you may be operating from a lower or a higher harmonic than this newly available merge point. It matters not, for each of you are where you need to be. In truth, no dimension or harmonic within a dimension is lower than or higher than the other. Using the words lower and higher is metaphoric only, and is not intended to be translated as better than or worse than. All harmonics within all dimensions are significant and must be experienced. This awakening occurs in stages, in a non-linear process. This means you may be operating within the lower echelons of the sixth dimension 1 minute and switching rapidly to the middle harmonics of the fourth dimension the next minute. This model of reality explains the natural way the brainwaves and the DNA codons operate when they are fired up and activated. We use the word fired as indeed the DNA codons and brainwaves look as though they are encased with fire when viewed clairvoyantly from the physical perspective, or when it translated from our perspective to yours. When using language to impart knowledge, and indeed to pass keys, codes and triggers through our language, then it is most in alignment to the structure the word fired as fired, PHIRED. This is most important and significant, and it is a trigger it is a trigger in and of itself to say the word fired or indeed fire with the PHIRE. We shall explain further as we go forward with this transmission. Why do we impart this knowledge to you? We do this because these transformations are taking place right now on your planet Earth, within your bodies. These are increasing groups of individuals upon your planet who feel these changes. They feel them in various ways, but they feel them nonetheless. We would refer to these individuals as a family of light upon Earth, and this is the most appropriate as they hold light within their cells as their DNA codons activate and fire up. These individuals who form this family of light have been asking for answers to their questions. Those questions being, what exactly is happening to me? Why am I transforming in this way? Why do I feel the way I do and experience these experiences? What is the purpose of these changes? We will respond to each of these questions and more. But firstly, this brings us to the question of why we are communicating with our conduit, Magenta Pixie, in the first place. When an individual takes a conscious path of enlightenment, then various milestones are reached, if you will, or we could say abilities occur within the individual as a byproduct of the enlightenment path. One of those milestones or byproducts is communications with the superconscious mind, the higher reality, and the archetypal presentations of the higher reality. The asking to receive this communication is one presentation of making this path conscious. Simply making the statement or the intention of walking a path of enlightenment is making the path conscious. This cosmic communication or higher connection is always part of that path. Yet there are those who still access the higher communication without any conscious awareness of walking any path of enlightenment, or without any conscious asking or intention taking place. We focus on the reasons why we have made our connection with our conduit, Magenta Pixie, during this particular transmission, as this mirrors your own path, you, the reader of these words. For if you are reading these words now, you are walking that conscious path of enlightenment. The reasons for our connection are many. If communication of the enlightenment with us is a byproduct of enlightenment, then the question is why? Before we respond to that question, we would ask you to look once again at this concept. Understanding, processing, and embracing those concepts within the enlightenment path leads to expansion. Yet we will say again that understanding, processing, and embracing these concepts are not necessary for enlightenment. There are many paths into enlightenment and many forms of enlightenment. When expansion is desired, when moving upward into the higher harmonic merge point is desired, then the process of the paradox and concepts are necessary. All right, 1 second, get some water. Page 24. With that in mind, let us look once again at that concept. Communication with us creates enlightenment. A byproduct of enlightenment is communication with us. Which comes first then, in a linear sense? The answer to that is they both occur simultaneously, even if an individual is not conscious of that simultaneous occurrence. When this concept is understood, one is thinking within the higher harmonic of the fourth dimension / lower harmonic of the fifth dimension merge point. So if communication with us creates enlightenment and is also a byproduct of enlightenment, and these occur simultaneously, why? When an individual strives to make a higher connection, be it through meditation, prayer, or whichever means is practiced, this triggers new synapses within the brain and creates new pathways. The individual's intelligence quota is increased. The individual's overall frequency is raised, assuming this higher connection is made through a service to others, positive polarized vibration. The brain, indeed, that which we call the body-mind, understands what is being asked of it and proceeds to move into action, if you will. Our main purpose for communication with our conduit, Magenta Pixie, from our perspective, is that we individualize through the grid to assess humanity and other humanoid physical structures to move from a separation into unity while retaining individuality. We do this because this is the forward moving energy of the universe. The one source, one spark, original thought, infinite intelligence expressed, a wish to experience all and everything. The building blocks of creation, the geometric original entities that you know as the Platonic solids, can be divided and multiplied in infinite expressions. The one source original thought wish to express all these expressions of geometric structure. We, as the white-winged collective consciousness of nine, are here to guide our conduit, Magenta Pixie, into the mirrored expression of that geometric expression. As she mirrors source in her experience within physicality, she passes information to the source original thought. We are the program within the DNA of humanity. We exist within each and every one of you, and we assist you into activations of cellular memories so that you too remember who you are. Once you move into the memories of who you are, you come to the realizations of what you are here to do. We repeat ourselves and explain ourselves over and over through different words and from different perspectives. This is done so we may cover all bases, if you will. We wish to ensure that every reader of our words and every receiver of our energies is triggered into the awakening state and the state of remembering, that of cellular awakening. For we exist within you as the original program within the DNA. We exist within the past, within a time zone that is timeless and outside of linear time. Also, we exist within the present, and we unfold before you as your life unfolds. If you will, imagine an original geometric form within the matrix. The very expression of life. The original form ensured that it placed copies of itself into every aspect of creation and every aspect of life. These copies are copies of the original, so contain the blueprint of the original, but they are individually expressed in a unique way that is expressed in a unique way within each presentation of life. As you as an individualized presentation of life contain the original blueprint copies within, of the source one thought, the source one expression. We call this original expression the Father, for the Father is the first expression of the distortion of oneness into separateness. The Father is the first cosmic gene. This is the masculine expression of the first original thought. Father's first desire, when in its first distortion from original source, original thought, original unity was to have an equal match. When there is distortion from unity, there must be a balance. One must stand before a mirror. So Father replicated himself and created Mother. This is the female expression of the one source, original thought. Of course, these expressions occurred simultaneously rather than Father first and Mother second. But we present the metaphor as close to the original blueprint as we can for you. Yet we speak here in an intellectual sense. It is the metaphor and symbolism that talks to the DNA. We are here to assist you in your cellular memory awakening, so you will provide both information and triggering. One could also call this knowledge and creativity, or light and love. We could also call this Father and Mother. These are equal pairings that occur from the very first distortion from source, the original thought. In your biblical text, you are told that the very first words spoken are, "Let there be light." Indeed, this is the Father's expression, the knowledge, the information, the intellectual stimulation. In your physical human brain, you mirror the original source templates. The left hemisphere of your brain is the light of the Father. The right hemisphere of the brain is the love of the Mother. We could expand into this love light and light love, higher polarities energies. Love light being the masculine, the light of the Father / Mother within the masculine exploding / expanding force of momentum. Love light being the feminine, the light of the Mother / Father within the feminine exploding / contracting force of receptivity. All divisions and explorations of polarity / contrast within the dimensional scale. These templates of polarized frequency move through your entire energy system, your body, your blood, your energy, your emotions, your thoughts, your organs, your actual life expression. For you are a perfect replica of the one source, original thought. We come forward now through our conduit Magenta Pixie in response to the call of humanity, if you will. That call of humanity is a call for truth, freedom, and ascension. So that has been an introduction, part one, and I guess say half of part two. It was a beautiful introduction. So, got a thing of water to think upon that for a minute. Now, we're starting to chapter one. The Golden Stargate and Inception Points. We mentioned that we use this spelling fired up, P-H-I-R-E-D, instead of fired up, F-I-R-E-D, to create a visual and inner auditory trigger and external auditory trigger if you speak these words aloud. An even more potent trigger. Fired up, using the letters of your alphabet P and H instead of F, is P and H instead of F. Why is this important? Why does using this alternative spelling make fire a trigger? When discussing activation of DNA, as in our words within the introduction to this transmission, this model of reality explains the natural way the brainwaves and the DNA codons operate when they are fired up and activated. We would use the letters P and H to create fired up, P-H-I-R-E-D. The trigger here is simply a trigger to your own memory, and this is indeed the purpose of our entire transmission, to trigger your memory, or indeed to provide DNA activation triggers. When DNA is activated, then deep cellular memories are activated. It is more important to refer to these as knowings rather than memories, as memory suggests something that is in the past, and the memories you assess here are memories from the future also. So I'll repeat that. It is more important to refer to these as knowings rather than memories, as memory suggests something that is in the past, and the memories you assess here are memories from the future also. So we could refer to these as source memories, if you will. Triggers come in many forms for there are keys and codons to your own inner landscape or the formation. Ooh. Creation and shaping of your own inner landscape. One of the ways these keys and codes present is through geometry and the mathematical equation using numbers or indeed letters. The term letter or number, known as phi, P-H-I, is indeed known by many of you who read the presentation to this transmission. For you, no explanation here is needed for this trigger. You will understand where we are going with this. Yet, for those who are not consciously aware of the letter/number phi, or for those who do not know what it means but are unsure how this could be a trigger for awakening source memory, this includes our conduit on a conscious level. We shall explain. Phi was a number or a letter, both in fact, within an ancient civilization. This term has remained embedded within your language over the years of your development and remains today. It is a term used to explain the mathematical equation you may know as the golden mean or the golden number, indeed the golden equation. The golden equation is the formation or formula for life, if you will. Indeed, the formation for consciousness within matter. It is also the formation for consciousness within antimatter, although the frequency is not presented as structure in quite the same way as within matter. The frequency that golden means presents within antimatter is known to you as the emotion of bliss, although it is indeed an electric or an electromagnetic charge, hence the reason that we use the term bliss charged love so often. Your DNA exists within both matter and antimatter simultaneously. Your inner knowings, that of source memory, are aware of geometric formations and mathematical formula. Therefore, when looking at the formation phi, reading the word, hearing it spoken by another, or speaking it yourself aloud, This creates the mirrored match within the formula itself. Therefore, when you read or say the word phi, the DNA arranges itself into the matching formation. This creates a stargate within, if you will, opening you to the knowledge of source. Sorry, the divine aspect. Anything on my nose? When you feel the emotion of bliss simultaneously, then you have a double stargate trigger, if you will, utilizing heart chakra and a third eye chakra, or green ray and indigo ray, and both are needed for service to others, awakening within positive polarization. So when discussing DNA being fired up, which is a visual trigger in itself, we use the spelling fired up, P-H-I-R-E-D, to combine the visual trigger for the fire within the DNA field as it transforms and activates the inner knowings and memories of the antimatter/matter equation of consciousness, the golden mean number of bliss activation. A simple incantation combined with a simultaneous visualization is enough to open this stargate we speak of. We call this the golden stargate. Why is this a golden stargate? It is a stargate to memory, source memory, which is the absolute requirement and result of spiritual awakening, enlightenment, and ascension. All right, your mastery. The golden stargate is the portal to health, awareness, joy, connection, and knowledge. It is indeed the portal to mastery and unity. Yet when it comes to awakening source memories, the journey itself is the destination. Mastery comes in many stages. Each and every one of you reading or listening to the words of this transmission now are already at mastery level in some form. There are many of you who nod and agree and understand this, yet many of you who are thinking, who, me? What am I a master of? Yet indeed we say to you now, you would not have found your own way to this transmission if you were not at the mastery level in some form. Does this mean you are ready to teach others, should you wish to? Indeed, this is exactly what it means. Yet we digress back to the golden stargate and the key to its access. The incantation, I guess probably end with this. The incantation for the golden stargate. Now, I choose to create the golden fire within. I stand within my mastery as I embrace this golden fire. I understand the equation that is phi. I understand that the fire becomes fire. I allow the warm rays of the golden central sun to wash over me. I open to the joyful awareness of bliss-charged love. As I create this golden fire, I stand within the firing of my DNA. I open the golden stargate. The visualization for the golden stargate. Imagine you are stood within a beautiful field. The grass is a vibrant green. Golden yellow flowers grow in abundance. Before you, there's a clearing leading to a wooden area, full of trees. In the distance, by these trees, you see something moving. You realize this is a beautiful unicorn, a golden unicorn. The unicorn walks towards you. You marvel at her beauty. She is truly breathtaking. Once she is next to you, by your side, she lowers her head for you to touch the golden horn upon her head. For you know that touching the golden horn of a golden unicorn will open the golden stargate of bliss and knowledge. With absolute wonder and gratitude, you touch the horn of the golden unicorn, and instantly you feel, knowing within, that you have opened the golden stargate. Just this short visualization, eyes closed or open, as a visualization or guided meditation, combined with speaking the incantation aloud, is enough to open the golden stargate within. This begins a journey of remembering. But what exactly are you going to remember? I guess that's for next time. All right. Oh, thank you for listening once again. Really liking this. Only on part 2, but definitely we're thinking about another book I want to start. And yeah. So awesome book. All right, guys. Love you all. Peace.